we're really pleased with the guys that we were able to sign. Obviously, from a lot of the states that we typically sign guys from, a couple of new states, but a great job by our staff, and so thrilled for the players as well as the families for the commitment they've made to us and our coaching staff. So we'll get started, and we'll go by state, and we'll start with the state of North Dakota, where we signed 4 kids. Brant Beaumart, 5'11", 175-pounder from Northern Cass. He's a wide receiver. We look for him to be a slot player for us. He's a camp kid for us. Obviously, that's a big thing for us to be able to come to camp, and Brant's come to camp for a couple of years, and he's been in team camp, individual camp, and he's a 3-year starter at Northern Cass. 2016 first-team All-State defensive back. 2015 first-team All-State wide receiver, really good athlete, 84 receptions for 1,146 yards and 18 touchdowns. He's also a tremendous triple jumper, and he was state champion, so we're excited about Brant. Cody Mauk, 6'5", 221-pound tight end from Hankinson, North Dakota. Another guy that came to our camp, extremely long, athletic player is Cody, 3-year starter. He played tight end, quarterback, defensive end. Team captain, junior and senior year, tremendous football player for his team. Finished career with 1,072 receiving yards and 24 touchdowns. Basketball player as well, state qualifier in track. Baseball player, well-rounded 4-sport athlete. Jake Reinholtz, 6'2", 175-pound kicker from Fargo, from Shanley High School. 4-year starter on the soccer team and kicker on the football team. He was an all-conference, all-state second-team football player, all-conference and all-state soccer player, really good athlete, basketball player as well. Older sister was with Mark on the soccer team, and a side note, Devin was his holder for 2 years at Shanley. So Zach Willis, 6'3", 315-pound offensive lineman from West Fargo High School. He's Packer coming here. I know Coach Roll's excited about that. We have another camp kid. He was a 3-year starter, 3-year letterman, 2-year starter for Gibby, Coach Gibson at West Fargo. 2016 first team All North Dakota, first team All Conference in 15 and 16, part of 2 straight conference championship teams, state place winner in the shot put, and Zach's going to have a really bright future joining our Rams. Let's go to the state of Minnesota, where we'll have 8 kids sign with us, and we're excited. That's obviously been a great area for us, the entire state, and a number of our coaches done a phenomenal job of matriculating kids to our campus. Max Bouch, 6'1", 205-pound linebacker from Blaine High School. Really excited. He was a great camp player for us, really stood out for us, was a 3-year starter at Blaine High School. 2016 All-Conference, All-District, had 122 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles his senior year. Played in the Minnesota All-Star game, also an excellent hockey player, and participates in track as well. Noah Gindorf, 6'6", 235-pound tight end from Crosby, Minnesota, Crosby Ironton High School. Another camp kid that did an extremely good job for Coach Roll at our camp. Noah's a 4-year starter, 2-time captain while playing quarterback, tight end, defensive line, linebacker, safety, kicker, holder, you name it. Really versatile guy, and Noah's a tremendous football player. All conference as a sophomore, junior, all district, and all state as a senior. 2016 District Offensive Player of the Year and Player of the Year. Set school records for career all-purpose yards, over 6,000, single-season touchdowns as well. Basketball all-conference MVP. Team captain, 1,000-point scorer. Coach Hedberg and I got an opportunity to watch him play. Tremendous explosive athlete on the basketball floor that will be a difference maker here for the Bison. Mason Hofstad, 6 foot, 185-pound athlete from Cannon Falls High School in Cannon Falls, Minnesota. Another guy that came to our camp, did a tremendous job. 4-year letterman, 3-year starter for his dad. Josh Hofstad at Cannon Falls High School. Played wide receiver, running back, linebacker, safety, another versatile guy for us. Ran for 2,100 yards and 17 touchdowns. Also had 84 tackles, can do a little bit of everything. 2-time All-District selection, District Player of the Year in 2016. Nash Jensen, 6'4", 350-pound offensive lineman from Maple Grove, Osseo High School. Another guy that was a camp kid and really was phenomenal at camp on our board drill and stuff. He's a road grader, a lot like Zach Johnson. And we're real excited about what Nash is going to bring to the table for us. 3-year starter who played tackle, guard, center, tight end, and fullback for Osseo, all conferences junior year. 2015 Minnesota Class 6A state championship football team. Had 86 pancakes as a senior and 150 through his career. Played in that Minnesota Football Coaches Association North All-Star team. Also competes in basketball. We're excited about having Nash here. Also, Minnesota, Noah Sanders, 6'3", 200-pound quarterback from Lakeville, Minnesota, Apple Valley High School. Noah's another camp guy, a 3-year letterman, 2-year starter for Apple Valley, team captain, threw for 1,800 yards, 18 touchdowns his senior year, all-district selection. Also punted for the football team and plays baseball. Exceptional leader. Really, really pleased to be able to get Noah and excited about his opportunity at NDSU. He's got tremendous leadership qualities. Tanner Sunt, 6'3", 237-pound defensive end from Farmington High School in Farmington, Minnesota. 3-year starter at defensive end. He totaled 150 tackles, 30 tackles for loss, 20 sacks. Was a first-team all-conference and all-state selection as a senior. Minnesota Defensive Lineman of the Year by Football News. Also a really good hockey player and plays golf as well. Andy Voyan, 6'2", 205-pound wide receiver from Stillwater, Minnesota. Montemita High School. Camp kid as well. Did a great job at our camp. Long athletic receiver. 2-year starter and all-region selection. Most valuable wide receiver in his district his senior year. Helped his team to a 10-1 record. District champion in Class 5A state quarterfinalist in his senior year. Also a 3-year letterman in basketball, averaging close to a double-double. Carson Yagi, 6'2", 181-pound athlete from Breckenridge, Minnesota. Another camp kid, really good athlete is what Carson is. He was a 3-year starter at quarterback, wide receiver, safety. We're not sure where we're going to plug Carson in at. We just know he's an exceptional athlete that will find a spot for us. Threw for a school record about 2,000 yards, 20 touchdowns. First team all-conference in 2015 and 16. 2-year starter, basketball, and 4-year starter in baseball. His uncle Bob Yagi and cousins Bruce and Alex, who are great friends of the program, also played for NDSU and were great Bison football players. Go to the state of Florida. Coach Austin does a tremendous job in the state of Florida. We're able to nab 3 kids out of the Sunshine State. Josh Hayes, 6 foot, 175-pound safety, corner, wide receiver, you name it, from Lakeland, Florida, Lake Gibson High School. Really versatile guy. Josh is a tremendous athlete, 3-year letter winner, 2-year starter. He played a little bit of everything. We're going to play him in the secondary, start him off at safety or corner. I know he can be a difference maker at one of those 2 spots. He was a team captain his senior year, had 67 tackles, 5 pass breakups and 4 interceptions, part of a Florida Class 6A state runner-up team that finished 13-1. His competition is phenomenal. Also competes in track. He's a great sprinter for him. Holden Hotchkiss, 6'4", 205-pound quarterback from Lakeland High School, Lakeland, Florida. Same school as Trey Dempsey. Camp kid. Really important for Holden to be able to come up here and show the commitment that he had in learning more about NDSU. For a guy from Lakeland, Florida to come up and want to work with Coach Hedberg at camp, obviously paid dividends for Holden and paid dividends for us. He was a 3-year letter winner and 2-year starter for Coach Bill Castle, team captain as a junior and senior, passed for 3,500 yards and 29 touchdowns, and went 20-5 as a starter. He's a true winner. Christian Watson, 6'2", 190-pound wide receiver from Tampa, Florida, Plant High School, one of the top high schools in the country. 2-year letter winner for Coach Robert Weiner. Coach Weiner is coming up here to speak at our clinic. We're excited about that. Excited about Christian coming here. Played wide receiver and safety. We're going to keep him on the offensive side of the ball. He averaged 17.1 yards per catch with 8 touchdowns and 587 all-purpose yards as a senior. Part of our 13-1 state runner-up team in 2016. Also competes in track and field. We're excited about what Christian's going to be able to provide for us at the wide receiver position. Go to the state of Illinois. Have 2 kids coming from the state of Illinois. Austin Avery, 6'3", 225-pound tight end from Yorkville, Illinois. Yorkville High School, 4-year starter who played tight end, fullback, running back, linebacker. Loved watching his tape because he did a little bit of everything. 3-time all-conference performer, first-team honors All-State as a junior and senior. Had 364 rushing yards, 275 receiving yards. Participates in basketball and baseball. Academic All-State performer, extremely bright young man, and we look forward to him playing tight end for us. Josh Babbage, 6'5", 228-pound tight end from Barrington High School, Barrington, Illinois. 2-year starter for Coach Joe Sanchez, who also gave us Samuel Jury, and the guy named Lecomte. Benny Lecomte was from Barrington as well, and we're excited to get Josh and another guy from Barrington here. He played tight end, quarterback, wide receiver throughout his career. Counted for over 1,000 all-purpose yards, 36 catches, and 518 yards, 8 touchdowns. Named all-conference, academic all-conference in all area in his area. Also competes in basketball and is a phenomenal volleyball player. Fun to watch his YouTube highlights. He's got unbelievable explosiveness as an athlete. So we're excited about getting Josh here. South Dakota. We're able to sign 2 kids out of the state of South Dakota. Costner Chang, 6'3", 250-pounder. He'll be a tight end or a defensive lineman for us from Castlewood High School in Castlewood, South Dakota. He's another camp kid. Did a great job for Coach Roll at camp here. He's a 4-year starter, 2-time captain while playing offensive line, tight end, and defensive line. 3-time all-conference selection and conference MVP as a senior. All-state first team as a tight end in 2016. Sioux Falls Argus Leader Elite 45, named to the South Dakota All-Star Game. His dad was a linebacker for the Jackrabbits. His son wants to be a Bison. I love it. Spencer Wagey, 6'4", 232-pound defensive end from Watertown High School, South Shore, South Dakota. Spencer was another camp guy, did a great job for us. 3-year starting defensive end and team captain. We'll start Spencer on the defensive side of the ball. He could do a lot of things. All-conference in 2016 after making 52 tackles, 5.5 sacks, fumble recovery, blocked 4 punts, did a little bit of everything. Sioux Falls Argus Leader Elite 45 honoree. Selected to the South Dakota All-Star Game as well as a showcase in Dallas. Also plays basketball. Wisconsin, 2 kids. Logan McCormick, 6'2", 235-pound defensive end from Appleton, Wisconsin, Kimberly High School, same high school that we were able to get Colton Heagle out of. 4-year letter winner, 2-year starter and team captain for Coach Steve Jones. His team went 56-0 and won 4 state titles in his career. Logan's going to be an unbelievable leader for us. Obviously, he knows how to win, and that's going to translate to the things we're doing here with the Bison, and so excited about Logan coming to NDSU. He had 133 tackles, 22 tackles for loss, 16 sacks in his career. 2-time All-Conference, first-team All-Region pick, Conference Lineman of the Year, first-team All-State, also a 60-foot shot putter, explosive athlete that Logan's going to have a great career for us. Seth Wilson, 5'10", 195-pound running back from Holman, Wisconsin, Holman High School. Another camp kid. This kid was really electric at camp. Coach P and I liked him from the first time we saw him at camp, and the kid was a difference maker at camp. He was a 4-year letterman, 2-year starter as a running back and a kick returner. Set school record for rushing yards with 3,345 touchdowns. Earned conference co-offensive player of the year as a senior, rushing for 2,000 yards as a senior and 32 touchdowns. School record, 11-time varsity letter winner in 4 sports, part of a state champion 400-meter relay team, tremendous athlete, plays basketball, plays baseball, has the size to help us out right away, and we're excited about what Seth can do for us. California, great state of California, home of Jake Otten. Who'd you play for, Jake? All right, California, 1 kid, Dawson Weber. 6'1", and I think that's probably generous. He's probably closer to 6'2", 190-pound cornerback from Elk Grove, California, Pleasant Grove High School, 3-year starter at defensive back and wide receiver. Made 68 tackles, 5 interceptions, 14 pass breakups as a senior. First team All-Conference, All-Metro defensive back in 2014, 2016. Also plays baseball. Tremendous athlete when you watch his film, and he has the size to back it up. The kid could play a lot of positions. We're going to start him out as a corner, could play wide receiver, could play safety, really explosive athlete. Michael Tutsi, 5'11", 185-pound safety from Indianapolis, Indiana, Warren Central High School. 4-year starter at safety and running back and team captain his senior year. Played for a high school football team that was in the USA Today top 20 ranked school or program this past year. First team All-County and All-State. Had 75 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, 5 interceptions, 2 defensive touchdowns as a senior. Participates in track and field and is an all-state sprinter. His dad, longtime high school coach, now coaches at a college in Indianapolis. And you can tell Michael's a really intelligent football player, learned an awful lot from his dad. And we're looking forward to quick things from Michael when he arrives on campus. Nebraska. One young man signed, Jack Begley, 6'3", 205-pound linebacker from Omaha North, Millard North High School. A kid by the name of DeLuca came from Millard North High School. Pretty good player for us. Jack's a camp guy. Did a great job at camp. 4-year letter winner. 3-year starter for Coach Fred Petito at free safety. We project him to be a linebacker. With his length and his speed, we think he fits into what we're doing as a linebacker. Metro Conference Defensive Back of the Year as a junior and as a senior. First Class A All-State first team as a junior and senior. Finished his career with 203 tackles, 8 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and 8 interceptions. Also a 3-year letter winner in basketball. We're excited about bringing Jack into the fold. Wyoming, new state for us. One kid, Lane Tucker, 6'3", 255-pound defensive tackle from Gillette, Wyoming, Campbell County High School. Unbelievable camp he had here. Came out, wanted to learn more about Bison football, and I think he came here 5 times, maybe 6 times with his family, and just fell in love with our campus and our coaching staff and the opportunity to be a Bison. Did a great job here, was a 3-year starter and 2-time captain, 2-time Class 4A Lineman of the Year, and 2-time All-State defensive end. USA Today Wyoming Defensive Player of the Year in 2016. Had 48 tackles, 16 tackles for loss, 8 sacks, 2 forced fumbles just in his senior year. All-conference performer in basketball and track and field. And we're excited about bringing Lane into the fold as well. So that's our class of 25 student athletes. Hank Jacobs, Coach Jacobs, is our director of recruiting. Hank did an unbelievable job facilitating all these kids' visits on campus as a coaching staff. We couldn't do it without what Hank does and the help he gets from Cody and from Jake and from Nate and from Taylor. But big reason why we have these guys here is Hank Jacobs and the effort that he and his group of guys do to let us as coaches get out on the road and visit all these guys, knowing when we come back on the weekend that Hank's got it all set up, and we're so happy to have Hank a big part of his job doing that, and he's done a phenomenal job. So I'll open it up for questions.
Coach, what jumps out off the page right away when I look at this list is 3 guys are listed in the 5-foot range. Everybody else is 6 feet tall. How important was size for you guys in recruiting this year?
Well, we're always trying to look for length, and especially at the tight end and defensive line position, we really like the length. Obviously, a corner position's big to get a 6'2" guy, but you know, it's something that we're always talking about and evaluating as a staff is how we can get a little bit longer. And we know if we can get them here, Coach Kramer will add the weight and add the bulk to them, but you know, you only can put so much on a 5'9", 5'8" frame, and where you're a defensive back and you're 6'1", 6'2", or a wide receiver, you're going to be able to put some good bulk onto that frame. So it's big, really big for us.
Chris, what's the defining characteristic you think of this class?
Well, they're versatile. There's a lot of really good football players that played a lot of different positions in high school, and we may plug them into a spot. Who knows what may change over a 4- and 5-year period. We don't know how their body's going to grow, but I love the versatility. I love the fact that a lot of these guys are multi-sport athletes. It's something that we talk about all the time, that we like that in a young man that's competing, whether it's in basketball, track, hockey, whatever it may be. And I think the versatility and the athleticism of this group is what really sets itself apart.
We've had pretty good retentions, I think, the last 3 classes. 2 before, maybe not so much.
Yep.
Is there anything to identify in that?
Well, obviously retention's a real key for us, and that's something that this staff is really focused on. And I think you hit it on the head. The last 3 years we've had really good retention, and that's a credit to the guys behind you in the room, as well as a credit to the leaders on this football team, that we need everybody to stay, and everybody has a spot on this team. Everybody has a role on this football team. You just have to find out what that role is, and we'll help you define it. But once you gain that role, you need to attack the process and attack that role, and I think we've had really good retention the last few years.
Is there, on the flip side, do you not take guys because you think, I don't know if they'll stick around?
We talk about it a lot. I mean, will they be a fit here? I think one of the things that's so valuable to us is when they come on the visits of being around our student athletes, and then Hank does a great job of setting that up, and then visiting with those student athletes while those kids are still even on campus. Hey, how did they fit? were the type of guy that we feel that would fit into our culture, would fit into our group of guys? What are their interests? Some of those things I think that are really important that, but we talk about it all the time. That's something that I think our guys do as good a job as anybody in the country of going around to the school and not just asking the coach, but asking a history teacher, asking somebody in the administration office, what's so-and-so like? Give me an example of why you like this young man. And we think that gives us a great opportunity to keep these guys for the long haul.
Chris, it seems like there was playmakers in this class. Was that a targeted thing? That we need guys maybe to stretch the field?
Well, we're always looking for playmakers. There's no question about that. I guess this would be a year, and if you compare it to last year where we weren't looking for as many offensive linemen, we were trying to maybe get a few more tight ends, maybe trying to get a little bit more length in the secondary, trying to find a wide receiver that could do some things as an outside guy, potentially in the slot, Christian Watson, whatever it may be. I think, Seth Wilson, the kid could play 3 or 4 positions here, and watching what he did at camp, he could line up at running back, he could line up at slot, he could probably line up at corner, he could line up at safety. Yeah, all those things, I think, having the ability to make plays, and we talk a lot about it. Between Coach Austin, Coach Kleinerman, and myself, what kind of ball skills does a guy have? I mean, that's kind of a lost art sometimes. What kind of ball skills does he have? If he's got good ball skills, we'll find a place for him to play. And it's something that we're emphasizing even with the guys we have. We've got to increase our ball skill ability.
Going head-to-head with FBS, is it about the same as last year? How would you?
I would say it's pretty close to the same, Jeff. It's recruiting is getting so much more competitive because of social media and getting your name out there, or a young man tweets that he has an offer, and let's be honest, he's got an offer from NDSU. A lot of other schools take a second look either to say, did we miss on that kid, or maybe a group of 5, a handful of schools will just throw an offer at the kid simply because he's got an offer from NDSU. But that's the age we're living in, and that's not going to change. We just have to continue to do a great job of building relationships, and that's the lifeblood of recruiting, is building relationships with the young man, with his parent, guardian, whoever's going to help him make those decisions.
Bagley was interesting. I think he had 15, 16 offers, a lot of academic stuff in there.
Unbelievably talented kid in the classroom. And I know when he came up here originally in the spring, I think he fell in love with it right away. And we've had good success with Coach Petito's kids, and he saw the success Nick DeLuca's having. We talked about playing him at linebacker, but yeah, Jack had a number of offers academically because he's so strong. There's a number of guys. We have a lot of guys that are receiving academic awards here on top of a scholarship. That's great for us as a staff. It's great for Kelly Lehman to get kids that obviously we're trying to. Education's the number one reason they're coming here. You'd like to think they're all Carson Wentz and they're going to sign and be the second pick in the draft, but reality is make sure you get your degree and you're going to get a great quality education here.
Does that count against you if they get academic aid?
No, not on the academic side.
Talented group of preferred walk-ons. How valuable are they when you round out the whole class?
I'd say we as a staff spend probably more time recruiting walk-ons. And that's maybe not fair to say because we spend a ton of time on the kids that are scholarship guys. But everybody talks about the lifeblood of recruiting, or lifeblood of your team is recruiting. Well, for NDSU, the lifeblood of recruiting is recruiting walk-ons too. And we take as much pride in signing those guys. You can look up and down the roster of the kids that started off as walk-ons, that became scholarship players, that have made a tremendous impact. And you could say the poster child of that is Joe Haig. There's no doubt about that. But people forget about Nate Moody. People forget about Brian Schatz. People forget about Cam Peterson. Cam Peterson walked on, showed up when school started. Oh, by the way, we just played Montana. You're kicking the rest of the season. Oh, okay. Thanks, Coach. I mean, they know this. They're going to get an opportunity. And that's the thing that I credit our coaches, because our coaches are selling the fact that however you come here, you are going to get as much of an opportunity as anybody else. And that is what we're trying to strive to get, is to get these walk-ons to come here, and most of them make it.
You said his name, so I'll jump. The Carson Wentz effect, the pro Bison effect as a whole. Are you guys hearing that when you're out recruiting? Are you guys noticing the attention that has garnered for you?
Absolutely. The brand of NDSU right now is it's at an all-time high, in my opinion, not just from football, from every sport. I mean, all of our sports are having great success. We're a tremendous academic institution. Now you throw on the fact that, I mean, John Gruden's going to mention Carson Wentz's name 15 times in a quarter through a broadcast, and all the other kids are having tremendous success, and the NFL draft and College Game Day and NFL Network being here, ESPN being here for the draft. All those things, I think all of us in sports, I'd say Mark the same way, we're all trying to utilize that, and we're all trying to use the brand that a lot of our guys, and Carson's kind of the guy out front of that, but that a lot of our guys are doing that has helped us continue to get our name out there, especially out of region. You go to Florida, you go to California, you go to Illinois, go to Wyoming. Boy, you mentioned North Dakota State, and they know an awful lot, and they always want to talk about those guys that are playing.
Carson help you at all with like the quarterback specifically, maybe a guy like Hotchkiss?
Well, as far as just the fact that he knew who Carson was and the system that we played in, I think that's the bigger thing is the quarterbacks that we recruit see the system that we're playing in and say, okay, if I had aspirations of playing at the next level, they're going to find me for starters. It doesn't matter what school you're at, but that system translates to having success at the NFL. Not only that, but we've got the best quarterback coach in the country in Randy Hedberg.
The early signing period, does that take away from this day, do you believe, going forward?
Oh, it probably will a little bit. That's just realistic. You know, are we going to have a press conference next December where we're going to announce a handful of guys? And we have no idea as a staff, something we're going to visit about. You know, how many of these guys would have signed in mid-December? How many would Ohio State sign in mid-December? I think it's a trickle-down effect. I'm not sure, but I hope it doesn't take away from what a great day this is for all the families and stuff. But in the same respect, maybe we're going to end up having 2 pretty neat days for student athletes.
You in favor of that?
Yes, I am. Yep, not in June or July, but in December, you bet.
Why is that?
Why what?
Why are you in favor of it?
Well, because I think you'd clear some things up in December, and maybe you're only now on 7 or 8 kids rather than staying on 25 kids throughout the 1st of February. Maybe somebody that loses a kid doesn't come back in and try to get one of our guys. And I know it works both ways. We try to go back in and get somebody else's. I understand all that stuff works, but I'm just hoping it probably knocks out a good portion of the bigger schools' commitments where they're down to a few, and we don't know at FCS and mid-major how that's going to. How many guys in any mid-major, and we're mid-major, no different than a MAC or a Mountain West. I think you can lump all those together. How is everybody going to be affected? We'll find out.